another priority of his is something that you raised an alarm about, I noticed, on Substack. And this was a move something the president signed that shifted, was it 8,000 federal workers from civil service to political appointees. Talk about why that's such an alarming thing, and what does that do, speaking of contours, what does that do to the contours of the federal government?
I think this was one of the most underreported stories of the week. President of the United States signs an executive order to take 8,000 civil service jobs, apolitical, non-political jobs, the top jobs that sit right underneath the people a president can appoint to run departments and agencies, the directors, the chiefs of staff, waves a magic wand and basically turns them into people who serve at the pleasure of the president, that he can fire at will like he can with his political appointees. That effectively triples the number of people inside the executive branch that the president can directly fire at will, from the 4,000 a president can appoint to the 12,000. Why does that matter? Things that you've seen, slush funds, ballrooms, they require people to say yes. They require people willing to execute things. And this administration has found that they get to a certain level and there's folks saying, hi, I don't want to serve time in federal prison for Donald J. Trump. I'm going to refer this idea to the general counsel's office, who will tell you it's illegal. They don't want those people there anymore. They would like the president to be able to fire those people so there can be more slush funds, more ballrooms. But I'm going to tell you, that also means more reason for Skye and her colleagues to take them to federal court. Unfortunately, this fight is going to get much bigger because he's adding more stormtroopers onto the battlefield.
And we announced this week, I mean, that is going to be met in court like every other attempt this administration has made to try to undermine and politicize our civil service. And the slush fund is blocked because of the courts, because of our lawsuit in the courts, as is the ballroom monstrosity. And so he can do this. He can try to affect a media cycle, which is really, to be honest with you, it's about trying to get people to think there's nothing they can do and to give up. And what our work is evidence of every day, what your commentary and people speaking out is evidence of every day, is that that's not working with this president, but we just have to keep going and we have to move, quite quickly, because the American people and the way the information is fed to them is to make all of us believe that we don't have power when we see every day. I mean, that slush fund's not writing checks this weekend, and that's because people went to court and blocked it. And I don't know how many news cycles we had to have here where everybody was saying who's going to stop it, what's going to happen. We're going to go stop it, but also backed up by the people.
Right.